Happy New Year! Welcome to 2025. I'm sure some of you have set lots and lots of New Year resolutions. I don't know if people still do that, but if you've done that, I would say leave that for now and listen to my story of something I did in 2024, how I went about it, and the end results. So in 2024, I went from 85 kg to 75 kg. So that's 10 kg that I dropped without using any drugs or any such thing. So I'm just going to share a story of how I achieved that. So I lost 10 kg in the space of 1 year without doing anything particularly drastic. So what's the story? At the beginning of the year, I thought, right, I looked at myself and I just didn't like how my body was. I thought there were some things I wanted to change. I wanted my tummy to be a bit firmer, and I just wanted to lose a bit of weight as well. I was already physically fit. I went to the gym, I go hiking, I go for walks. I don't eat too much, I would say anyway, but still I was where I was. So it was then the case of, is this it? Is this how life is going to be? And I'm going to be quite, unhappy about it, or is there something I can do? So just because of the way my brain works around, okay, let's try and find a solution, let's stick to it, let's run with it. So the solution I thought of was, right, I'm already going to the gym, can I do this better? So what I then did was I went on Excel. For those of you that know me, Excel is my happy place. So I looked at the year, I said, right, we've got 365 days in the year, and my target was then I wanted to do a physical activity at least 4 days a week. All right, so before 2024 I was already doing physical activities, but I wasn't tracking it, so I don't know if I was doing up to 4. I was probably doing 2, 3, so not up to 4. So I said, let me set a target for 4 a week. So physical activity will include, so if I go swimming, that will be an activity. If I go cycling, that will be an activity. If I go for a long walk, activity. Hike, activity. Gym, activity. So I was tracking all these physical activities, right? So I said I wanted to do 4 a week. So 4 out of 7 days. So what that worked out to was about 200 days in the year. So I used my Excel knowledge to build a formula on Excel to set that target of 200 out of 365. So I think that worked out about 55%. And then what I did was, every day when I go out on an activity, I come back, I track it. And what I was doing, again, I've written formulas in Excel. So I'm auto-populating, auto-calculating formulas such that I was seeing where I was as I was updating these my daily activities. That was the first thing I did. So I set that goal to, and I, knowing myself, I know once I set that goal, I'm going to stick to it. So that was one. Then the second thing I did was around food. So I have breakfast, lunch, dinner, right? Breakfast is, without breakfast, you would not like me. I need my breakfast every day, and I have my lunch and I have my dinner. I'm not a big eater. For those, again, if you're very close to me, you won't see me with a big plate of food. I just can't finish it. However, still, what I was eating still felt like too much for me to be at that place that I was. So again, it was the case of, I think I'm doing well, but what can I do better? So the target I set for myself for that was, and I'll go into the basics. So on an average day, breakfast for me is 2 slices of bread, eggs, and tea or something like that. So I thought, okay, how about I drop it down? And even sometimes it's 3 slices, right? So 2, 3 slices, but most times it's 2 slices. So I thought, what if I drop down the breakfast to just 1 slice, reduce the amount of eggs, and that reduces my breakfast, right? And then go beyond that into the afternoon, cut out lunch altogether, and dinner, just have regular dinner, right? So that was a reduced breakfast, drop lunch altogether, and then have dinner. But then what I did again, because I wanted something that was sustainable, something that I can do perpetually. So what I did was I did that during the week. So I set that up so that I keep that regime during the week, and at the weekend I sort of take it easy. So I can have lunch at the weekend, but Monday to Friday, sort of military, that type thing. Because I didn't want something that would then start impacting my happiness as well, where I feel like, oh, I feel I want to eat this, but I can't eat this. So a bit of discipline with a bit of reward at the end of the week. So I set that goal as well, and I started that. That was tough. That was tough. The first, so I mean, I started all this in January. The first must have been like a month. The first month was tough. Once I had the breakfast, which was now lighter, and then I went to the gym, came back from the gym. Straight after the gym, my body was already crying, like, right, I need the next meal. And then so the first month was trying to get my body to get used to the fact that there's no lunch coming. So just get on with it. So it was tough. It was tough. And what I did around that time as well was I then decided to have just drink small tea, just to put something in my tummy to just keep tummy going. Just drink slight amount of tea. And then eventually over that 1 month, I got to the point where I didn't have to drink that tea anymore. I can just sort of have that light breakfast, cut out lunch altogether, and then have dinner. And then my body started getting used to it. And the body is amazing, right? Once the body knows this is the new routine and there's no going back, it just gets used to it. So by the time I got into the first month, coming into the second month, my body was getting used to it. Lunchtime wasn't that much of a struggle anymore. I won't say it wasn't a struggle anymore altogether. It just wasn't that much of a struggle. My body was getting used to the new norm. And then that's all. I just kept that going. And I would say I kept that going religiously for most parts of the year. There would have been times here and there where I didn't keep to it religiously, right? Maybe there was a celebration or kid's birthday that I just had to sort of go with the flow with the family, because again, I don't want this thing I'm doing to affect my regular relationships with my children, my wife, with my my wider circle. So I will still be flexible with it when I can, but when I don't need to be flexible with it, then I'm strict with it. So yeah, did that. And again, because I carried my wife along, she knew what I was doing. She won't then come to me at lunchtime to say, do you want lunch? Because that would just be ridiculous, right? So she knew what I was doing. So again, that makes it easier, because then I've got people that have bought into what I'm doing and they're sort of supporting me. And when she sees me in the afternoon, she's like, "Wow, are you sorry? Dinner will soon be here." Just those words of encouragement that helped as well. And yeah, I just kept it, January, February, March, sort of kept that flow going, and the physical activity bit as well, kept that going. And I measured myself at the beginning when I went to the gym. They've got a measuring machine. So I wanted to have an accurate measurement. Even though I had scale at home, I wanted something more accurate. So I measured myself, and yeah, just over the course of the year, I actually started seeing that change. I felt lighter. That was one thing I would say. I felt lighter. And then also the clothes I was wearing, bits that were a bit tight before, were loosening up. So I was beginning to feel the change. And I was beginning to see the change as well, because you can see and not feel, and sometimes you can feel and not see. But I was feeling and seeing. But then beyond that, even my wife was telling me, "Oh, you're looking different," And then again, as time was going on, folks that were seeing me outside were commenting on the fact that they were seeing that physical change in my appearance. And I guess all those sort of kept that momentum, kept the energy going, where you could actually start feeling and seeing the change. Then I measured myself midway as well. I was coming down nearer to that 80 kg mark. So again, progress breeds more drive to keep going, because you could see it. You're like, okay, what I'm doing is working. It's tough, but it's working, so I can just keep going. And by the end of the year, I got on the scale again. But if I go on the scale, just to go back to my Excel file, went on the Excel file. As I said, I've been updating it, and by the time we're coming towards Christmas, I was nice on track. I was not looking to beat 55%. I was not looking to get to 56. I just wanted to hit at least 55%. And sometimes it was tough. There were times when life just happens where I just cannot go to the gym, or I can't do something, or maybe we're on holiday and things like that. So when those times happen, what I then do is I then try and catch up. So if I've lost maybe a week of no activity, in the next week, I know I've got to catch up. And then one thing that happened as well was, because I knew I was doing this, there was a change in my lifestyle. So I'll give an example, and that's the power of setting goals, right? You then start analyzing everything. So in the past, when I take the kids to their activities, say I take my daughter swimming, she'll be swimming for 40 minutes. So essentially I've got 40 minutes to spend. In the past, sometimes because I've had such a busy day, what I would have done in the past is I've gone in the car, set up my phone on in front of me in the car, keep the car warm, put on some Netflix episode or whatever and just watch and maybe even sleep off and set my timer so that when it's time to pick my daughter from swimming, I get down from the car, I go pick her. But because of this new change of this thing I'm trying to achieve, these new targets, I was now making a change where I was like, okay, if I take my daughter swimming, that 40 minutes, I can go for a quick power walk or I can go for a run. So imagine that was it. So 40 minutes in the car before now became 40 minutes doing a nice 5K loop or 7K loop somewhere, a quick fast walk, a quick fast run. I wasn't changing anything spectacular. I was just making little changes here and there in my daily activities, and I was fortunate as well that my son really got into athletics this year. So that helped as well because even though he was going for his athletics classes and he was getting coached, then I was still spending time coaching him as well. And again, because of my new lifestyle, I was more driven to coach him. So when he says, "Hey dad, let's go for a run," or "Hey dad, let's go to the field and play football," I'm like, "Yeah, let's go," because in my head I'm like, tick, that'll be an activity for me. So I guess everybody around me helped. So it was a win-win because I was getting to do more things with my kids, and then I was also benefiting from it as well. And because I was doing this, my wife caught on as well. She was doing more activities as well because I was going to the gym more. She was tagging along more because I was going for walks more. She was coming along more, and then she then benefited from that. And also, as I said, with my children as well, there's now more activities for us to do because then I've got an ulterior motive for us doing more activities. So when I get asked to come play in the garden, I'm more likely to say yes because in my head I'm thinking if I'm in the garden for 40, 50, 45 minutes, tick, that's an activity because that's us doing drills because my son plays football and does athletics. So we've got this drill cones and all this stuff we've got. So we can go in the garden and just drill. And I'm not just telling him what to do. I'm also getting involved as well. So by the end of it, I'm shattered. I've done like a good activity and I can tick it off. And it's just been amazing. So it just those by setting that target, it made me look at my lifestyle every day and make those little tweaks with, okay, I can go for a run instead of sitting in the car. I can cut down on breakfast. I can make away with lunch. I can watch what I eat and say, do I really need this food or is this food really healthy? And I'm not one for being super healthy eater, like, oh, I won't eat that food, I won't eat that. No, I mean, but then again, again, thinking, do I need that Coke? I'm fortunate that I don't care too much about fizzy drink. I'll drink every once in a while, but thankfully, I'm not one that would drink Coke with every meal or anything like that. Again, but still being more sensitive to it and intentionally drinking more water when I'm eating. So when eating, naturally, drink water with my food. Maybe in the past, I would have drank a Coke here and there. Now I'm like, no, it's just water. I'll drink Coke if we're having a party, if we're having a Christmas party or whatever. I will. If everybody's drinking Coke, I don't want people to feel weird. I'll drink Coke. But again, it's just those little changes without necessarily changing my overall life to the point where I'm not then enjoying the new life. So it's just little changes with setting targets. And that was how I was able to lose 10 kg in the space of 1 year. And now coming into 2025, I'll just continue with it, and I'm not looking to lose another 10 kg to get down to 65 kg, but I'll continue with that new lifestyle of just looking for opportunities to keep moving, to stay agile, to stay fit, to stay strong, because building strength helps as well as we go older. I'm getting old. I'm not getting any younger. I always tell my wife, my wife, which pisses her off, that I'm an old man. I'm not a young man anymore. So as I'm coming into this older age, there is a desire to do more, to just try and stay strong. And with all the activities I do as well, with hikes and all that, I'm going to Ben Nevis a few days from now, and that is gruesome. That is the highest mountain in the UK. That is about 10 hours of hiking, of going up the mountain and coming down. I need to build strength for this. I need to build resilience. And I'm not just going, I'm going to lead about 40 people. alongside my brother. So I need that strength to be able to lead these people to the top of the mountain and bring them down, and even help people take extra load of people that will be struggling. So to do all these things that I do, well, me personally, that I do, I need that strength, and that again drives me to do these things I do. So back to you. New Year resolutions. Do you want to set 10? Do you want to set 20? Do you need to? I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe what you can just try to do, or what we can just try to do is, hone in on one goal. Like, okay, this year I want to do this. But then not just say this year I want to do this. Then that's the what. Then what's the how? Says the how. For me, the what was I want to lose weight, right? The how was, okay, I'm going to do more physical activity. I'm going to cut down on lunch. I'm going to cut out lunch, cut down on breakfast, cut out on junk, and then also just move more. But what's the why as well? The why is also equally important, right? If the why is not strong enough, it makes it hard to do the how, because the how, when the how gets tough, the why will keep you going. For me, the why kept me going when things were tough. When I wake up and I don't feel like going to the gym, the why of, you want to keep doing stuff with your kids. You want to be physically healthy for your kids. You want to be able to continue leading people on adventure walks. That's my why. That then gets me going. So understand what you're trying to achieve. Understand how. You need to be tangible on the how, and set goals, set targets for that, and metrics for how you measure how you're doing that. And then always remember the why. When everything else fails, is the why that will drive, that will keep you going. Okay, so hope you found this useful, and hope this helps you set up nicely for 2025. Hopefully 2025 is an amazing year for you. Hope you enjoy this new year, and I hope to share more of my journeys, more of my stories with you. Maybe when I come down from Ben Nevis, I'll share that experience as well. I can't promise. I've got a lot going on in my life. I just wanted to share this one because I thought, I've actually gained from that experience last year, and maybe if I put this out there, one person or two people can actually gain from it as well. But thank you very much for watching. This is a YouTube page, so if you want to continue seeing the stuff I post, you can subscribe, like, share, and do all those fancy stuff at the bottom of the page. But anyway, Happy New Year. God bless.